Hello, I'm Wendy Benton, your host for WTNB today. Thank you for joining me. I have Ms. Evie West with me this morning, and she is here to talk about some great things going on at our Cleveland Police Department. She is the Public Information Officer for them. Evie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. You all have a really interesting event going on right now, actually, until the end of November, and it's called a Selfie with a Cop.
Yes.
And you have been talking to me about social media and the importance of that as far as the police department's concerned. So let's talk about that with our audience.
Sure. You know, social media it's the way to go now. It's 2015, almost 2016, and everybody loves updates on social media, what's going on, pictures. And so I've been the public information officer since 2008. And I've gone and I've promoted the police department, and I've gone and spoken to businesses, organizations, neighborhood watches. But since we have changed and since we're becoming more progressive in our tactics to reach more people, social media has worked for us and been an advantage for us for so long. We decided March 1st to open up a Cleveland Police Department Facebook page. And so our focus at that time was really to kind of spotlight the officers and the good things that they were doing. There are a couple people that have gone on there and made rude comments or negative comments. That's not what this is for. This is to highlight what the officers are doing in our community, to highlight the good things that are going on, the good things that people are saying about police officers. And we don't allow people to post pictures or anything like that on our page. So what they'll do is they'll send something in an inbox, a message like, oh, this officer came to my house, they answered this call, they were so professional, they did a good job. So we want the officer to be encouraged as well. So we'll take that information and post it on our Facebook page. Let the officer know, hey, people appreciate you. And so as the time has progressed, one of the detectives said, hey, Evie, would you care to post a picture of the suspect that walked into Walgreens and stole several $1,000s worth of stuff? And so we put it on there, and I always tell people, hey, you're welcome to call the detective directly, or you can put a tip on our Facebook inbox, which is a private inbox way that they can communicate. And since I'm the administrator of it, it lets me know when I have a message. And so I'll read the message and people will say, hey, this is so-and-so, that's so-and-so. And so we're able to use social media to our advantage also to solve crimes. A lot of times we don't know who these people are. And so when we put them up there, we have 7,500 people that have liked our page, that see it. And a lot of people share it on their walls as well. And so people will say, oh, that's so-and-so or that's so-and-so. And we're able to get a warrant and go pick those people up, interview them, and get a confession. And so it's worked to our advantage that way. So the program that we're doing now, Selfie with a Cop, we had Advanced Parts Pros, which is a local company. They donated $1,000 to us to purchase child's bikes. And we could say an adult bike too, because we've purchased 10 bikes, 4 scooters, and a couple helmets. And so the officers were thinking, well, how can we get this out to the public? Who are we going to choose the 10 people to give this to? So they said, hey, it'd be a good idea, to take a picture with a police officer, and then whoever votes for the picture, whoever gets the most likes wins the bike. So we were like, yeah, Selfie with a Cop. That'd be so cool. Everyone's taking selfies now. People enjoy doing that. It's fun. So let's do that. So we put the rules up on our Facebook page and said, hey, this is the program that we're doing, Selfie with a Cop. You have till November 10th to upload your picture on our inbox, or you can email it to me directly. And then the child or the individual that has the most likes on their picture per age group / size of bike will win a bicycle or a scooter. And so we asked for all this information, and then we were getting pictures left and right. Oh, and they were really creative. A lot of the pictures were really creative. But we chose to do that right before the block party because we were going to have so many police officers there. And we decided it'd be a great way for parents to take their children up to a police officer and say, hey, can we get a picture with you? And so we got a lot of our pictures there. And then we had a lot of children who took pictures with officers just on the street and sent them in. So we had 40 submissions, and on the 11th of November, I uploaded those. And there's been one that has, we're at 659 likes or something. It's the officer Tanksley with the little baby that's crying. And everyone just thinks that's hilarious. And I mean, it is cute. It's a cute picture, but everyone just loves that one. So
that's fun. Well, I was going to say, did the pictures with the most likes, are they more creative, or is there something a little bit different?
Well, there was this one little girl. She's probably about 6 years old, and she has an orange shirt on, and it says "the cutest inmate." Well, that particular day, I was taking a picture of our field training officers, and so we were outside the police department. It just so happened that her mom had pulled up to the police department and said, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" So the selfie with the cop turned in to a selfie with cops, because there was probably 11 police officers in that picture, and then she had the shirt that said "the cutest inmate." And so so that picture is the second in running as far as likes on our page. And then, you know, we've got a couple kids who are pretending like they're getting arrested, or, you know, just real creative pictures that people like. So it's really getting a lot of attention.
Right. Well, and that's a fun way to have you all interact with kids.
Right. And be around them, and for them to feel comfortable around us.
Right. Well, and you were talking about, too, you're there to encourage kids and promote the positive aspects of police officers. And oftentimes you mentioned that parents instill fear in kids, and a lot of times, you know, I know I'm guilty of that when my kids were little, you know, to get them to stop doing something, you know, to make them fearful of the consequences, not necessarily police officers, but parents end up doing that, and children are fearful of police officers.
Right.
And you had mentioned that a little bit. Do you care to address that?
No, you ask any police officer and they've all dealt with it, but ever since I've been a police officer here, which has been the last 15 years, I've run into parents at Walmart or on the street or on calls, and they kind of push their child toward us and say, "Hey, he's being bad, take him to jail," or "She's going to take you with her," you know, and pushing the kid, and the kid's just kind of like moving back like, "No, no." And at first, you know, I thought, "Oh, that's cute," you know, when I first started working here. But then I started noticing that the kids were really being fearful about that, like imagining, I guess, a police officer taking them away from their mom or dad and not bringing them back home. And so a couple years ago, I was walking in Walmart and a parent did that, and I was really upset. And I said, "Ma'am, do you realize that when you do that, that you're instilling fear in your child to not trust us and think that we're going to take them away from their..." That's not smart to do that, and I would appreciate if you would not. Now that's one parent, you know, that I was able to talk to, but I'm hoping that these parents will get the idea that police officers, you need to encourage your child. Like, hey, if you're lost, if you're afraid, if you are in a situation where you need help, you pick up the phone and dial 911, or feel comfortable enough to ask a police officer for help. But if we're constantly saying, "Hey, that police officer's going to take her to jail, take him to jail," who are they going to call when they do need somebody? Because they're like, "Oh, if I call, then the police officer's going to come and take me, so I don't want to call them." Who do they call? And children can really help out in crimes being committed. You know, if a domestic situation is going on, a child can pick up the phone and dial 911. If a child is at an event like the block party or the Apple Festival and they get separated from their parent, if they don't feel comfortable enough to go to a police officer and say, "I can't find my mom," who are they going to go to? And so it's really important that we encourage and instill in our children the fact that police officers are public servants. We are here to serve and protect. That is what our position is, and that is what we have committed to do and made a vow to do. And so letting your children know that they're here to help us. So they're the ones you can trust.
Right. Just, yes, instilling trust in children. Yes. And I think that's a great message across the board. And I think, you know, Selfie with the Cop and just getting that message out there that you guys, you love children. You're not there to harm them or put them in jail in any way. And I think social media is a great way to do that and to get that message out.
It definitely is.
Also, we were talking about you being here since 2001, 15 years in the police department, and you've seen your share of things. And one of the things we'd talked about earlier were just some of the scandals that have happened over the past year, and just how positive the environment is now. Our audience might be interested in that, but just to dispel some of that, or just from your perspective, Evie, about what's going on now, if you don't care to share those.
You know, I try to keep in mind at all times, humans fail. Humans fail. People fail us all the time. It doesn't matter what profession you're in. There's going to be somebody that's going to let you down and make a bad choice. It doesn't mean that we're bad people. It means that we're humans. And so, you know, a lot of disappointment has come in the leadership as far as decisions that have been made in the past, we'll say 2 years. However, you know, you can't put your trust in man. And so even though I've been disappointed, I have done things that are wrong as well. So you have to forgive, definitely, and move past it. But we are at a position now with our new chief, Chief Mark Gibson, who was recently appointed in September, that we have very firm we have very firm leadership as far as the goals being met, and the command staff saying, okay, this is what our goal is, this is what we're going to move toward. And not necessarily forgetting the past, because I believe that that I think we can learn from those lessons, definitely, but moving past it and saying, okay, that's not who we all are, but those are some people that made some decisions. And so now we're moving past that, and we're learning from those lessons, hopefully, and we're moving toward a new goal together to protect and serve our community. And so I think we're in a good place right now. I think that Chief Mark Gibson is a young police officer, younger, I say he's 42 years old, but has good direction, good leadership skills, morals, integrity, and I just think that's vital for a police department.
Right. Well, and I think our community needs to hear that positive spin on what is going on, because a lot of people live in the past and, you know, point fingers and bring things up over and over, and unless you're hearing the good things that are going on and the great leadership that you do have there, you kind of stay in that mindset. So I wanted to make sure that our audience understands, you know, you're there, you've been there for a long time, you've seen a lot, and this is a good thing.
Yes.
And Mark's doing a great job,
Yes.
and we're excited that he's in there, and that we've always appreciated our law enforcement officers, and you all do a fabulous job. So
Thank you.
we just want to make sure that our community is aware of all the great things going on.
Thank you.
And the Selfie with a Cop will be going on until the end of November, correct?
Yes, voting is till November 30th, and then on December 1st, we will post the winners of the bicycles and the scooters. So we're looking forward to that. We'll have the winners come to the station and pick up their prizes, and then we can get some pictures and let people know, hey, because of your votes, these are the people that won the bikes. So we're excited about that.
Okay, so if anyone's interested, to visit your Facebook page.
Yes.
And
it's Cleveland, and then in caps, TN. Police Department. And we had to change that because I think some detectives in Cleveland, Mississippi shot a dog, and so everyone was getting on our page saying, you dog killers, and I'm like, that was Mississippi. And then when Tamir Rice, the 12-year-old that was shot in the park by the police officers, you know, they were writing on our page saying, you know, you guys are kid killers, and you know, this and that. And so we're like, that was Cleveland, Ohio, you know, and so so we had to add the TN to it. So it's Cleveland TN Police Department. Yes,
we like to stay in our nice community bubble here in Cleveland, Tennessee, and it is a wonderful community.
Yeah, it is.
I say that all the time, and I'm just so proud to be here and live in this area. I think it's a great place.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And we have wonderful police officers,
Yes.
and I want to thank you again for joining me today, Evie.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being here, and we will see you all next time on WTNB Today.